We have all been there. You have an essay to write or a chaotic weekly schedule to organize, and you find yourself staring at a blank screen, waiting for inspiration, while a blinking cursor mocks you. When you hear that artificial intelligence can help you with this, it is easy to picture a glowing sci-fi brain. You might imagine a machine that actually thinks and feels exactly like you do. But a much better way to picture AI is as a tireless robot librarian. Imagine a librarian who has read and memorized almost every book, news article, and public conversation that exists on the internet. This librarian does not actually comprehend what it reads. It does not feel sad during a tragic novel or understand the real-world weight of a historical event. What it does exceptionally well is spot patterns in all that information. If you ask it about a story that starts with a brave princess and a fire-breathing dragon, the librarian has seen that exact setup thousands of times. It knows, based on patterns, that a castle is the most likely thing to appear next. There is no magic happening behind the screen. AI is an incredibly fast, tireless pattern-matching machine. To see how this pattern matching actually works, we can look at a tool you likely use every single day, the text messaging app on your phone. This diagram shows a familiar feature. When you type, "I am going to the," your phone guesses what you might want to say next. Based on millions of other messages it has seen, it recognizes a pattern and suggests store as the most likely next word. Large language models like ChatGPT or Gemini use this exact autocomplete process. They just scale it up massively. Those simple word choices branch out into a giant web of possibilities. These systems learned those complex probabilities by studying billions of sentences across the entire internet. Because of that vast memory, the system can write an entire essay or answer complicated questions. It builds its response by predicting just one word at a time, based on the patterns it found in all that data. This next word prediction mechanism is surprisingly versatile. It can write a rhyming poem, translate documents from English to French, or even find a missing comma in your computer code. Even the most complex AI outputs are not products of independent thought. They are the result of billions of highly accurate, back-to-back probability guesses. This same pattern matching ability powers many of our daily digital experiences. When an app like Google Maps routes you around a traffic jam, it is spotting patterns in live traffic data. When your favorite streaming service suggests a new show, it is predicting what you will like based on what you have watched before. Professionals are now using these tools to summarize long legal contracts in seconds, and students use them to pinpoint exactly which concepts they need to review before the SATs. But there is a major catch to this. Because the system relies entirely on patterns rather than facts, it can run into trouble. When an AI doesn't know an answer, it often hallucinates. It follows the expected pattern to build a sentence that sounds perfectly logical, even if it has to confidently make up a lie to finish the thought. The AI system is not being malicious. It simply lacks the capacity to distinguish between an actual historical fact and a fiction that fits the pattern of the words. Because the system prioritizes linguistic patterns over factual accuracy, you should treat its answers as a starting point rather than absolute truth. Once you see that AI is not a sci-fi threat, it becomes much easier to use. It is a highly advanced utility. You can think of it like a powerful calculator or a tireless research assistant. It can do the heavy lifting of sorting through data, but it needs a person to give it a purpose. This leaves you with two vital roles. You provide the specific instructions that set the goal, and then you verify the final results to make sure they actually make sense. Knowing that, you can start experimenting. Use it to brainstorm project ideas, study new topics, and organize your daily life with more confidence. You have the ideas, creativity, and judgment. The AI is simply your tireless robot librarian, waiting for your next command.